Okay. Perfect. Okay, amazing. So welcome everyone to the live Healy demo workshop. And as I mentioned before, today will really be where we share about how we do our demos and how you can also perform these demos for friends, family, or even apply this to working with clients or building a team of your own. So definitely have something to write with, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Yes. And I want to share too, like our intention for this workshop is to share a little bit more about how Healy works, how you can use it, and also kind of like a two birds, one stone deal where, like as we're sharing others, like how you can use sharing others about how you can use Healy. This is also an opportunity where, we saw a lot of you already have your device. And so this is great for you to share it with your community. And at least you have like a structure that you can build on. Because we definitely just we didn't have, like we had no idea how to share about Healy with others. And we just had to like find our way through it. So this is a great opportunity to use something that's kind of already here, but just make it your own, find your own rhythm and way, and share that with your community.
Awesome. So did you want to drop in real quick?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do that.
So let's just take a brief moment here and ground ourselves. So feet flat on the floor, dropping in, feeling in our bodies what it means to be here and present in this moment. Maybe you close your eyes. Take an inhale in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And just feel into any sensations that are coming up for you. And let's hold an intention. So I want you to find an individual intention that feels good for you for this call. And continue to breathe into that intention. And then take one last breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back.
That was really nice.
We needed that. I don't know about all of you, but it feels like it's been a day. We haven't been able to ground, so that felt really nice. Thank you for taking part in that.
Yeah.
And so do you want to share about the structure, what this call will look like?
Yeah, so first, I also want to thank everyone for being here and just taking the time to invest in yourself and invest in your learning process. And hopefully you're able to take at least, a couple of things out of this and be able to incorporate it into your own practice. So thank you for that. And yeah, I just wanted to share the structure, how we want to do this workshop. So essentially, we're going to be sharing about what Healy is, of course, how Healy works, the ways you can use it in your life with personal or business goals or your health or anything like that. And also how you can use this same structure to share it with your community. And we're going to be working with Gemma as our volunteer. And we're kind of good. We want to do it in a way we can, it's like how we normally do our demo session. So it's kind of, we're just working with Gemma, and then you guys are the observers and you can kind of see how we do it. There will be times though where we might share like a side note, like, by the way, like you would do this, but ultimately that's kind of how we want this structure to go. And then, so that should probably last about 30 minutes. And then maybe the last 5 to 10 minutes, we can answer any questions. Of course, you can ask them in the chat. Maybe others can answer if they know them, but we'll mainly save that section for the end. So I hope that makes sense.
Beautiful. And I'm going to see if there's a way to pin Gemma along with us. Okay.
Awesome.
Yay.
All right. So, oh, can I also share too, the way we, with our demo sessions, we like to gather their information before our call. So we always just ask them for like just their basic information. So their name, first and last, where they're from, date of birth. I don't really think we ask male or female, and then we place of birth, yeah, and then we grab a photo of them, preferably the most recent, because if they're obviously wanting to work on themselves at the right now, then that's really helpful. But that's kind of what we do. So let me share my screen so you guys can see how we do this. Okay. And all right, so maybe someone can give me a thumbs up if you can see. Okay, perfect. So yeah, so we also we do this through Zoom or Google Meets. You can share your screen like this on both platforms. So we like to just have this set up before, and then we have our 3 Healy apps at the top, and we like to kind of, we should share with them like the pink app and the blue app and then the wave app, and you'll see throughout our demonstration, but just wanted to share that with you guys so you would know.
Yeah, and so Gemma, you can go ahead and unmute as our lovely volunteer here. And so we would just, connect, kind of ask her what got her interested in frequency and Healy, and this would be a time where we share in that initial connection, if that hadn't already taken place outside of this.
Yeah. And so, okay, cool. And then do we want it, since we obviously for time's sake, we won't do that now, but we do share that. And then so the way we usually start is we kind of divide the session into 2 parts. So the first part is really doing sharing them with Healy and with frequency, and we share about the history and the background, and we're going to do that. And then the second half is where we actually do their session, like the aura analysis, and we'll go into that. So
yeah. All right, so we'll have like a little bit of a role play going on, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
All right, so Gemma, do you know much about frequency? Just pretend you don't.
And actually, I only got my Healy a couple of weeks ago. So up until that point, I really didn't know a huge amount about frequency. I'm Reiki master, and I do energy healing work. So I understand about energy, I understand about vibration, but the kind of quantum science part of frequency is like beyond me a little bit. So that whole side of it, for me, brand new.
Okay.
Beautiful. That's
Amazing.
great.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how it is for a lot of us. None of us really are taught about quantum physics, and let alone like with frequency and understanding that realm. So that's no problem.
Yeah, so what today will look like is we'll first take a look at the pink app here. So there's really 2 ways that you can use Healy. And so the first way is by going into the pink app, which we'll show you in a moment, and using the wristbands, which use microcurrents. And so they plug right into the Healy, as you can see. And microcurrents are naturally occurring in nature. So they're very gentle frequencies that come directly into the body. And this would be the first way to use it. So
oh, I'm using it. It connected to my Healy. Like I'm using Inner Strength right now.
It's a great program.
Here.
All good.
There we go. I don't need it anymore.
Yeah. So you would come into here.
I actually wanted to first go over the history.
Thank you. Yes.
It's okay. It's our first Zoom.
You're
Please
good.
bear with us. But because Gemma was saying how she, is still
Absolutely.
fairly new to frequency. So
Yeah.
we'll just kind of quickly go over the history so that this can be used for future reference. But yeah, with frequency, thank you, Brenna. So we like to share about the history because, I mean, honestly, with this technology, it's not really new. If you kind of date it back to the early 1900s, this was actually being researched and developed, and there were many case studies where lots of, researchers were working with other people to study the effects of microcurrents and frequency. So this information goes way back. And it was also discovered that disease carries frequency. So what they were discovering is that if that is the case, then there are frequencies that you can use to interrupt the cells or frequency of disease with better health, optimal health and restoration. And so with that, they were able to build and study about microcurrents and frequencies, up until now. But between even then and now in the early, I want to say the mid 1900s, as thousands and thousands of people were actually using this, it actually, like with big pharma and all that stuff, like it was just kind of, people were getting silenced because you can't really benefit from healthy people. So fast forward to now where all of this is resurfacing. Even the creator, the inventor and developer, Marcus Schmiecki, he's a German physicist and former monk. He's been working on this for a while, and he actually has a bigger device. It's called Time Waver. And what that is, it's a bigger device. It's used, in offices where people will come in and, receive their frequencies, but he wanted to have something that's more accessible and portable that you can use anywhere and everywhere. And so it actually took, at least a decade for them to come up with the actual device Healy. And so this is actually a product of the bigger devices. Of course, it's not going to have every single thing on there, but it's very, very powerful. This has the quantum sensor and the coils, everything that it needs to still get the job done and support our bodies. So yeah, I don't want to get too deep in that, but
yeah,
I hope that makes sense.
Yes, thank you for sharing.
Perfect. Yeah, and so that does lead us into Healy and the device and the two ways that you can use it, which are like the first way that Caitlin was sharing is in the pink app. If you want to just use the microcurrents, you put on the wristbands and put in your program, and that's one way you could do, and you're sending your body frequencies that way. The second way is with the in that blue app here, where you can actually use the quantum sensor and scan your field, and it's going to suggest to you, a couple programs that you can use to support your body and how, like, what your body needs at that moment. So it's a really amazing device, and there's so many ways you can even use that aspect. But yeah,
awesome. So diving back in where we left off with the pink app, this is where you would come in and say, I think I need a program for balance. And so you would come into this first program group. All of these are called program groups. And so we just quickly would show Gemma what some of these include. And so say, Gemma, you wanted to run a program to just help you feel a little bit more grounded or bring balance, then you would just come in here, select the program, and then transfer it. What it would do is once you click start, it transfers from the software to the hardware, and then you're all good to go. You can run it from there. Yeah, and you can also like exit out the app too, and it's still going to be running. You just won't be connected through the Bluetooth. So if that happens, don't worry. It's still on. The programs are still on there. Yeah, absolutely. And then with the letters IMF, so what that stands for is individualized microcurrent frequencies. And what that means, Gemma, is that in the first 9 minutes of this program, what it's going to do is analyze your body and scan your field. And it's going to present you with different frequencies depending on your exact needs in the moment. So you and Cassie could both run the balance program, but receive completely different sets of frequencies because your bodies have individual needs. So wherever you see the IMF, that's what that means. But for example, on the pain frequencies here, these are already an established set of frequencies for pain. Therefore, they aren't individualized. And in this case, you would just go ahead and use the electrode patches that come with the Healy and place them in the area of need and begin the program. And these are all Roman numerals. We explain more of the details on these sets of frequencies can be found in other resources that we'll share with you later on.
Yeah, PDFs. But yeah, so in this case, we kind of swipe through these programs and kind of see if there's anything that really stands out to Gemma. And Gemma, you can also come in.
Yeah. Is there anything you see that you're like, wow, I could really benefit from?
Right now, my eyes are drawn to deep relaxation because I've had a day. But I'm also loving that you can just scroll through them like that. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, it's great. And actually, I'm going to answer this question from Rose because we're on the topic. But so what happens after 9 minutes? So basically, there's a pool of frequencies because each program. So let me zoom out. So that like the Healy professional model, for example, this has 229 programs. There's 10 point something millions of frequencies all in this, all in this device. And so each of these programs, activation or positive thoughts, each of these programs actually contain, hundreds of programs themselves. So whenever we select, balanced nerves, for example, the first couple of minutes, it's scanning our bodies out of that pool of frequencies and saying, okay, we're cherry picking some frequencies that I'm going to need it for myself. And same for Caitlin. So that's kind of what it does. And like the rest, like after those 9 minutes, it's just sending you those frequencies and it's still like analyzing because you'll see it'll send at different intensities or percentages in hertz. And you'll see that in the actual program, but to answer your question, it's still sending you what you need. But yeah, so back to Gemma, we just kind of like swipe through and share, and also we share like our personal experiences too. Like I love all of these programs. The skin ones are our favorite or one of our favorites.
Yes, and this is where I usually will share about the progress and the breakthrough that I've been having with my skin, with the skin on my face. And I explain, it's really incredible that we can use frequencies to get to the root source, the root cause of, whatever is going on, because it's actually getting to the cellular level. So when I'm targeting acne on my skin, I can run programs such as skin impurities or scar harmony, and it's able to bring balance back to the area from the root cause. And on a deeper level, I can run something like inner beauty, which is also quite, that's like the inner work, because that's like on a soul level, that's on the inside. So like, of course, physically we can run all the programs, but we also have to mentally and emotionally have that capability to recognize our beauty. So that's why I love that there's this variety here. And so you can share whatever experiences you have that you think would resonate with whoever you're doing the demo for.
Yeah, also I want to share too, is with microcurrents, like the scientific part of it too. So microcurrents have a lot, they benefit our bodies a lot because our bodies naturally contain microcurrents too. We are electromagnetic beings, or there's a word with that, but so this is great for our body because we easily can receive those frequencies because it's what our body naturally produces anyway. And with that being said, when you have frequencies of, of like support to support you with your hormones or these things, it's whichever program that you choose, the microcurrents themselves support you on a cellular level with ATP production, amino acid transport, protein synthesis, cellular communication. All of these things are what microcurrents are actually supporting your body with. So, and what these programs are doing is assigning these frequencies to target or support specific areas of your body. So, if I needed support with my, let's say, circulation in the body, it's assigning these frequencies and this, with the same benefits, but to support me in circulation or, anything like that. So I just wanted to share that because it's a very powerful way that you can really get to the root level of your health.
Yeah, amazing. And so we just
And I
will-
think if it's okay, sorry, I think
Yeah, go for
at
it.
this point, I would really have a question, because actually looking at it all, there's so much in there that it
Mhm.
could potentially be quite overwhelming to think, well, how do I know where to go? How do I know where to start? Like,
Mhm.
what even like food imbalance, what does that even mean? And so I wonder, like, how would you respond to a question like that if someone's going, there's so much in here, where do I start? What do I do?
Yes, so there's a couple ways you can approach it too, because one of the ways is, like if you really don't know what your body needs, like if you do decide to, if they grab a Healy, at least the Resonance Edition and above, you can scan your body and see, okay, out of all of these 229 programs, what does my body need the most support with? And from there, you can kind of narrow down. But let's say, like the other option could be, there are PDFs that contain, like Healy itself has an official PDF that shares the descriptions of these programs. So if you're curious, like if you're kind of being called to food imbalance or lung harmony, you can read more about it and see if that's something that you resonate with just without doing a scan. But yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
I also
Okay.
think at this point we would we'd flip through whatever else, and then we would actually show the Heal Advisor app very briefly.
Oh,
So to
yeah.
answer that question, Gemma, there's another feature here that we love to share just a little bit about, and that's the Heal Advisor app. And so this is where you can come in and search whatever condition or whatever is present for you or your family members at this moment. And say, for example,
let's do hormones, since we were just talking about
Sure.
that. Okay, so
so we'd come in
hormone.
here and we usually click like the first result, which this isn't a great example,
Hold on.
insomnia or something.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
So here it presents, it's kind of like a digital directory of, recommended frequencies. So you type in whatever condition in the search bar, and then it's going to recommend which frequencies or programs you can run. So we usually pay attention to the first like 4 or 5, and you can choose from there. And this is a great resource if, a family member or you are dealing with something that you don't know which sets of frequencies to run. We love coming in here. So
Yeah.
these are some for insomnia.
Yeah, I was just kind of playing around and seeing what's on here. But yeah, you can honestly type in anything. And like it's not gonna have every single condition, but you can always type in like symptoms or things like that, and you will most likely find it in here.
Yeah, so we don't spend too much time in there, but isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's really cool. I was just thinking you could type in hot flush, see what will come up with that.
Yes. And
Right.
surely the women programs would come up with that.
Right.
100%.
And then we kind of go back to the screen and share about the Blue app. Hold on, sorry, and then typically we have your profile pulled up too, but this is where we share, like in the Blue app, this is where you do like all the juicy stuff happens, where you could do the scanning, where you can scan to see which programs, like we talked about, or would resonate the most with you. And then we share about like coaching and the aura analysis. But first, we just like to confirm their information, make sure everything's correct. So would you be able to let us know if this looks good to you?
That is all correct.
Perfect. And I want to note here, so we don't typically put like the contact or address or anything, and we don't really synchronize their information to the cloud because we end up deleting it anyway because it's their information. But you can sync to the cloud if it's, a client that you plan on working with, or if it's your family, if they're going to actually use it more than once. So just noting that.
Yeah, good point.
But from here, we confirm their information, and then this is where we record their vibration. Oh, by the way, for the photo, we always recommend them to anyone to have a photo just of themselves, maybe with a plain background, no sunglasses, and not in a group with everyone, just hopefully just by themselves, or have them take a selfie and send it to you.
And it can be taken the day of, or it can be from, just a recent photo is fine.
Yeah. Oh, I want to also share too, it is cool though, like if you are working with trauma, like if you experience trauma as a child and you're really working with that, or if the person you're working with is working through that, you can actually upload a photo of them as a child and put that information in here, and then you could do like the aura scan and kind of dive deeper into that. Just wanted to share that too.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
It's so cool.
But again, we try not to share all this information, but just for educational purposes, might as well share it. So from here, this is where we record their vibration. And we're typically never in person with someone when we record their vibration. If we are, we just have them hold the Healy device in their hand or close to their body, so it can just collect their energetic signature. But since we're not, trying to see which Healy this is connected to. But since we're not, we just click on record vibration and we hold it in our left hand, and just to hold intention and hold space for them. And you don't have to be on a Zoom call or anything with them too. Like you can literally just be in your room or somewhere, and you could still do this for someone. It's helpful to have a picture of them there. And also was gonna say though, in our demo sessions, since they're usually here, we just kind of take a second for both of us to just kind of settle down in our bodies and just take a couple deep breaths so we can just kind of ground ourselves while we collect their energetic signature. So I'm gonna do that right now. All right. So we'll take a deep breath in through our nose.
For Gemma and us.
Yes. And letting it. And sometimes the Bluetooth, well, I want to make sure it's connected. Okay. All right, so it's gonna record Gemma's vibration after it connects. Okay, perfect. And the way we kind of share with the client, because I think I saw a question, like how do we explain like how this works, is with their information, like their first name, date of birth, place of birth, a photo of them, all of this is energetic, as it also translates to energetic information associated with the individual, especially with the photo. And so that's how it's able to identify who it's sending frequencies to. And then of course, when we record their vibration, that's just kind of like the seal on the envelope where it's able to gather all of that information for them. And I think when you're working with the quantum, your intention is going to be the golden key to help you get to where you want to go. So in this case with Gemma, I hold the intention, like I hold space and the intention for Gemma, and that it's just that I'm just the channel or the vessel, and it's collecting Gemma's vibration. And I'll just speak from experience. Like in the beginning, when we first started doing this, I did not know how this worked. Like we didn't know how this worked, and we kind of just were experimenting with our family. And my aunt, like she was my first guinea pig, and basically like I just tried it out, and she wasn't on a call with me or anything. And I just held space for her. And whenever I did the scan, I recorded her vibration and did like an aura analysis. Like every single thing like resonated with her. Like I sent her the information and she was like, wow, this is me to a T. And I was incredibly shocked about that, because I had no idea like that would, like, I don't know. It's just like, as humans, we need to see things and feel things to be real, but the quantum is very much as real.
Absolutely. And the vibration, once it's recorded, it's good. You don't need to record another vibration.
Yeah. So then, do you want to explain the three
Yes.
modules?
So here we have the 3 different modules within Healy, and this is these 3 modules are included in the, just for all of y'all, in the like Resonance Plus model and above. But we don't usually say that. That's just so you guys know. But so Gemma, here we have the resonance analysis at the top, and what that is where you would come in and scan, and the quantum sensor in Healy would scan your bioenergetic field and tell you, okay, this is what Gemma needs exactly, like which frequency she needs right now in this moment. So remember the app that we were just in, the pink app with all of those program groups? So this is where you would scan out of all of those, and it would provide feedback as to which frequencies you need.
And by the way, we don't actually like go into the resonance analysis or coaching analysis modules because like they all take time, and we want to make sure we have time for the aura analysis. But there are helpful videos that go over how to do resonance and coaching.
Yes. And from there, you can either run the program with the wristbands in the pink app, or you can send the frequencies at a distance to whoever it is, whether it's yourself or family members. And then the coaching analysis here is really, really beautiful tool if you have any personal or professional goals, or if you're into manifesting. Do you do much work with manifesting?
Yes, I do a lot of manifestation work.
Amazing, amazing. So you're already familiar with it. But this is essentially a way to just manifest your dreams and desires quicker. And so what it does is you input an intention or a focus. And so, for example, say you want to pay off all your debt. So you would, in first person and affirmations, you would input, I, Caitlin O'Brien, am so happy and grateful now that I have paid off all my debt by June 29th, 2023, for example. And you get really, really clear and specific. And from there, it will come up with a scan after you've selected certain databases that relate to that topic, and it will show you some tangible information, maybe what blockages are coming up for you at this very moment that might be hindering you from achieving that goal. And from there, you can send those frequencies into your field to remove those blockages and help bring you into alignment with that desire. So it's one of our favorite tools. And like I said, we don't go too much into it. And so what we will focus on today with you is the aura analysis. And this is where the quantum sensor will scan your 7 energy centers and report back which 3 chakras need the most support. And then it will give us even a deeper read on what exactly might be going on, what blockages may be coming up. And then we will send you those frequencies as part of as the second half of your session today.
Yeah, so we will click into here, and this is where you'll select the individual that it's sending the frequencies to. And then from here, we record their aura, kind of like the same thing that we were doing. Just kind of taking a couple breaths, grounding breaths to sit with our intentions and hold space for Gemma. And Gemma, we also invite them to hold an intention as I do it. I ask, which of Gemma's chakras need the most balance or need the most support right now. So I'm going to do that real quick. Okay. And then it shows this screen. And then we just click the pink button here. And then this shares with you like the chart or graph of the chakras. And I'm actually curious, Gemma, if any of this resonates in terms of, which chakras you think need the most support right now.
Yeah, it's actually hilarious. Because so without sharing too much, I've I've had a bit of a rock with my real root chakra stuff today. My sense of safety and security has really been challenged today, and I've been struggling to figure out intuitively what to do. I feel very confused in my intuition with what to do, and I've been having lots of conversations about it, and I have been struggling to communicate properly because I feel out of balance. So yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And also for those who may not know what chakras are, or at least kind of like what they mean. So they are like the 7 energy centers of our bodies. And they all carry different themes. So in this example with like the crown, or I'm sorry, with the forehead chakra or third eye chakra, has to do with like your sense of like intuition and knowing and things like that. And with your throat, it's your sense of what is it,
like speaking your truth.
Yeah, speaking your truth, communication.
And then with the root, that's like what Gemma said, sense of security, your tribe, your family.
Foundation. Yeah.
And we also explain how these are connected to different organs, right? Physically, oftentimes when these topics manifest, they can create, physical sensations
Or imbalances.
Yes, exactly. And so sometimes we'll pull up like a little chart, because we're not experts in the chakras, we don't claim to be, and so we'll like pull up a little screenshot that helps whoever we're sharing this with better understand like what's, what the themes are.
And I'm actually just going to do this for those, because like you can take a screenshot of these, but we have like a couple of images if you want to take a screenshot. They share a little bit more about the energy centers. And then I'll just do this one. I really like this one, but it's kind of blurry. and it kind of shares with you more information and all of that. And I'm just going to prepare myself for that. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So from here, it's already showed us our 3 chakras that Gemma needs the most support with, the most balance. So from here, we're going to further analyze which, what really exactly is going on with what themes or emotional like traumas or triggers or things like that. And for time's sake too, we'll actually just select the lowest 2. So we're going to deselect the throat chakra. So, we can really focus on the root and the crown, if that's okay. I'm sorry, the root and the third eye. All right. So we were talking a lot, so it kind of disconnected.
Well, it's nice too with the deselecting and selecting. I didn't know you could do that until like, I don't know, maybe like 2 months ago. But if you're doing this on yourself, but you really would like to see what 4 chakras need support, or if you want to do less, it gives you that option.
And I'm about to ask in this analysis, further express my intention. What does Gemma need the most support with within these 2 chakras?
Beautiful.
Okay, perfect. And it's fairly quick. And Kate, do you want to express?
Sure. So Gemma, you'll see here, each of these little boxes are called cards. And so there's 3 cards for each chakra. So in this case, there'll be 6. And I know it's a ton of information, so we'll help you break it down. But basically, let's start off by looking at the very top left corner where you see a bunch of numbers and letters. So the 88%, that number right there explains like how much does this resonate with you right now. So they will go descending from 88% downward. And it just means like, how present is this topic for you right now in this moment? And then the number 4 is from a scale of 1 to 10, how much effort is required from you to bring balance or harmonization to the topic, with 10 being the most effort required. And then the letters, sometimes there are numbers too, but the letters off to the right indicate, where you could be holding this, whether it's emotionally or if you're holding it in somewhere in your body physically. And it can also share with us, is this something that maybe stemming from your parents, your your grandparents, your ancestors, or if it's a karmic expression. So it can tell us if something that comes up is from a different lifetime. And Cassie also has a beautiful quick guide here that you guys can screenshot. It's super helpful. And we usually will send this along with a screen recording of the aura analysis after our session. So we don't dive too much into those letters and numbers apart from what I just explained. And we let them kind of just dive into it after on their own. And so you'll see here, the first chakra is, the first topic here is for the third eye. And so Gemma, we really encourage you to just read the present state and then the desired state. It's really that last sentence or two of the desired state that helps us realize, okay, where are we wanting to move from?
Or move to.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but this, like, it blows my mind every time, because I was having a big conversation with my youngest daughter today. I'm a single mother, and their father isn't involved in their upbringing at all anymore. So I was literally having a conversation today, a few hours ago, with my youngest daughter about being both mother and father and how to navigate that within myself and within my relationship with my children. So that's crazy. That's crazy.
That is amazing.
So for anyone like not sure how this works, in the quantum, this is a perfect example, because Gemma is halfway across the world from most of us, and this only picked up on her. It didn't pick up on Cassie or myself or any of you. It's so specific.
Because like I will say, like even just reading this right now, like on it, like I really don't resonate with this. And I don't know if you feel the same, but it's really interesting because it really deeply resonated with Gemma, and she's in the United Kingdom. She's on the world.
And I'm also really happy that it's only at a 4 out of 10, because that means I'm nearly there.
Exactly, right?
Yeah. So we kind of like in these sessions, like we'll definitely like be at least show them
a couple,
a good handful.
Scroll through like the majority of them.
But it's definitely a lot, and sometimes it could be really personal. So depending on how comfortable you feel or they feel.
Yeah, just kind of read the energy, and most people are open, but
because like whenever it sometimes lands on like sacral chakra, I mean, with the themes with that is like sexuality and pleasure and things like that. And so sometimes it'll come up with like themes related to that, and that's okay. But sometimes people might feel a little uncomfortable or awkward, or I don't know. It's obviously really personal information. So yeah, from here, like let's say we already.
I was curious if that resonated.
Oh yeah,
Gemma.
Also curious.
Oh, with the mother things. Hilarious, because I also spent the afternoon with my mother, who used to say to me when I was little that I would I always needed so much attention and so much love, and I never felt like I was loved, even though I completely was. Also very funny.
I love it.
But also at a 3, so good, work in progress, doing well.
Exactly. Good way of looking at it.
Yes. And then we can actually share this last one, and then we'll.
Okay. And in the desired state, you'll see how there's like 2 different colored texts. There's like a gray and then a darker gray or black, where it says, I feel unconditional and motherly love is a foundation within me. That's an affirmation that we're actually going to vibrate or send into Gemma's field in just a moment here. But sometimes if the present state, like you might get questions, because sometimes these can be very deep and kind of like odd. And so if the person's like, what does this mean? You might have to walk them through it and help them kind of see like, well, this could maybe be coming from another lifetime. So if it doesn't resonate, it could be that. It can also sometimes pick up on the field of people close to you. So if you were recently, with a spouse or a loved one, it could be picking up on like, the topic of kids or childbearing, not necessarily because that's something that was on your mind, but because of those around you. So yes, you might have to just like help whoever through this, but they like looking at the desired state, because it helps us see, okay, like this is where we're moving towards, and that can kind of help Cassie and I figure out like, this is what it's getting at.
Yes.
So from here, say we went through a few more with Gemma, and Gemma will send you a screen recording of this after so that you can go through it on your own. It does give you the option to share a PDF with clients, and we personally like the way the screen recording looks. It's far more in-depth, right? And
Yeah,
detailed.
we just go on our phone and do a screen recording and then send it to them on Instagram or by text.
And then we'll send that quick guide with it so that they can see, okay, this is stemming from
Yeah.
whatever it is.
But from here, we just vibrate these frequencies and these scalar waves into Gemma's field. And what scalar waves are, because you don't have to be connected to wires or cords or anything with scalar waves. So scalar waves, essentially, they do occur naturally in nature. And they're on the quantum realm, so they're working in the information field, so they don't decay over time or space. And the way it works is kind of like similar to how all of us, we carry information in our DNA. Our DNA has information, and so that's how scalar waves are able to function. Oh yeah. And that's how scalar waves are able to function, is through the information field. So the information of ourselves, and what it's doing is, imprinting or maybe even regenerating and restoring frequencies of alignment and better health, or in this case with the aura analysis, like if it's emotional things or any traumas or anything that you're currently dealing with within our chakras, it's restoring information into the cellular aspect of our bodies to get you into that alignment with like with yourself or in life. I don't know if that made sense. I kind of blanked at the last part, but that's what this is basically sending, is like everything that's in the green, like green word or text, it's sending just the frequencies of harmony or alignment. So from here, you can send them frequencies for any duration, but for time's sake, we will send for 1 minute and 20 seconds. And from here, we also ask them too if they have any questions, or if they needed clarification or anything.
And then before we send the frequencies, we just ask that we hold the intention always, but we ask that you, Gemma, hold the intention to be open to receiving these frequencies, and you take all that resonates and leave that which doesn't. And just that you drink lots of water.
Stay hydrated. And to show you guys how it's actually sending from the Healy device. So it has, remember how we talked about, it has the Healy, the quantum sensor, and like the coils and all of that, the work, like all of this stuff in the device to send from a distance or to send microcurrents. It's actually sending from just the Healy device itself. So you don't have to do anything from here. You can just set it on the table. You can set it across the room and go on with your day, or you can really do anything with it. But just so you know, you don't have to like be next to it as it's sending. But
did you guys just see the one that scrolled up that really made me smile?
no.
Said, when I need money, it's always there.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa, I didn't see.
Gemma, I love that. That's so great.
I loved it so
Right.
much.
Yeah, and some people may wonder like, oh, am I going to feel anything during this? Some people do. They'll, like, we've had people who experience like a slight tingling at the top of their head, or their current state just shifts radically. Like they feel more at ease, less anxiety. It really just depends on the individual. So if people don't feel anything, that's also very normal. Like Cassie and I do this all the time to ourselves over hours, and we usually don't feel anything. But it's good to remind them that it's also like with taking a supplement, like they might need several applications of the frequencies to actually feel a shift, and just not to worry if they don't feel anything in the moment or at all ever.
Yeah, I sometimes have felt like, depending on what it is, like an emotional release or lift or clearing, which was really helpful. But yeah, I'm curious if I think that's,
We can probably close out of the.
we could probably, yeah, I'll
Oh,
probably,
sorry, one quick question. How did you just get back to that screen from what we were looking at before?
From the
What
vibe.
button did you press the home button?
oh, I pressed
Yeah.
the back, I guess I, actually,
There's
I
an
don't know.
arrow in the top left-hand
Yeah.
corner.
Okay, I see.
And so that just brings you from
Yeah.
vibrate to the arrow will bring you back.
Yeah, and this is
Thank you.
actually where I would go, like, I'll show you guys, but like, I'll like see the little red recording thing, I would actually just start recording and then like scroll for them. And record this scan for them and send it on Instagram. But yeah, let me stop sharing my screen.
Amazing. And thank you so much, Gemma, for being our volunteer.
Yeah, and
Oh,
Oh,
I think
you're
you're
muted.
muted.
I don't know how that happened. I just said you're welcome and thank you for having me.
yeah,
Aw,
and
yeah.
I also want to share too, like also at the end of our session with whoever it is, we do share, because typically they have questions about like the Healys or the models or additions. So we'll share about like the current promos that are going on, like for this month of March. I'll actually read it because if you're curious. But yeah, they do have the 40% off the resonance editions and above. And then you can get a free coil on the Soul Cycle programs with the purchase of the Resonance Plus and above. And we always talk about how amazing the coil is because it really is amazing. It's this thing right here. So the regular Healy device looks like this. And what the coil is you just kind of you just snap it on here like this. And this would make it wireless. It doesn't substitute using microcurrents because microcurrents are still really helpful for our bodies to really receive the frequencies, but the coil is really great if you're on the go, if you're going to be outside, if you're really active, or if you're cooking,
Yes.
which we kind of get tangled up
get
in the
caught sometimes.
cords. So
Yeah, so we just
Yeah.
emphasize
If you're
that.
sorry, I do have a quick question. If you're sending a vibration, do you need to have the coil in or no?
no, we
Actually better to not, I believe, right?
Yeah, I've actually looked and I found like a video that expressed like how because the coil has, I don't know, it has its own technology that itself.
Yeah, and
So we just use
coil, just to answer the question in the chat, the coil converts the scalar wave, I'm sorry, it converts microcurrents to scalar waves. So it's similar to like what you just saw with Gemma, like the frequencies going into her field, that's what the coil turns them into.
and like with the coil, like it creates like a toroidal
Mhm.
field around your body, if that makes sense.
Perfect. And then
But
I was
yeah.
just gonna drop that. I think I'm gonna attach a file into the
Yes.
chat.
And we will share too. So what we typically do is we share an email with other resources or helpful links that we may have discussed during the call. So we're going to send out an email with this link or with this recording. And you'll receive like the article to the scalar waves versus microcurrents and like a Healy model comparison video and a couple other
Yeah, and like
resources.
Healy and EMFs, because sometimes people will ask, well, like, do I need Bluetooth or Wi-Fi? And but Healy actually like running it just helps like mitigate EMF exposure and things like that. So that's in that article. And we found it super helpful to just have like a template in your email that's like we have one for Healy demo sessions, like for the day of, it's like the confirmation email that we send, and then we have a post demo session template that is just helpful because it already has all those articles and YouTube videos in there. So just some tips for those of you who might want to do these on your own.
Yeah. And also with like the space too, like it is helpful too if you want to cleanse your space, if your area too, like meant to mention that before the session too and after, if you want to just kind of follow santo or do anything that you want to cleanse the area and the space, because we're working so closely with people. But
how do you share your screen on your phone? Oh yes, great question. Cassie, you can answer this.
Yes, so we share, so like right here we're on our Zoom, like just on a laptop, and then I just use my phone, and like let's say if it's a Google meeting, I access that Google meeting on obviously the computer but also my phone, and I connect and make sure that your Zoom settings allow other people to share screens. And so that's where I can go in, join the Zoom meeting, and then I can share my screen from here. If that makes sense. Does
Yeah,
that make sense?
yeah, I think
Okay.
so. And same on Meet, Google Meet, it's the same way.
Yeah.
You would just join from your phone. And we always like create like a calendar invite when we have our demo sessions. And so all we do is go to like the Google Calendar, click on the Zoom Meet from our phone. I'm sorry, Meet link from our phone. We join the Google Meet, and then same thing. You just you'll click like screen share, and it'll say like start broadcast, and then you begin, and you're good to go.
I'm sure there's probably better ways, but that's just the way
Yeah.
that we
If you
have
guys-
done it so far.
If you find a better way, please let us know. What other questions? I know some of you may have to hop off, and that's totally fine.
Yeah,
We really
did not
appreciate
expect
your
it to
time.
be.
And if anybody else has any questions, we'd love to
Yeah.
hear from you. You're welcome. Oh,
And also, I just want to say thank you again, Gemma, for just being our volunteer and
Yes.
letting us do the aura scan on you, because I know sometimes it's like a lot of like personal information
Yes.
or anything.
quite
So.
personal.
That's okay. You're very welcome.
Well, there's nothing else. Oh, you guys are always welcome to reach out to us on Instagram. We love just answering questions, and I just had a little brain fart. What was I gonna say? Just if y'all wanted to unmute or say anything, otherwise we will.
Can I just say thank you to both of you for sharing the process with us? It's been really helpful and really useful. So thank you for guiding us through it.
Yeah, you're
Good.
so welcome.
I'm glad. Yeah.
Amazing. And someone asked, does the incoherence in a life theme mean past lives?
Incoherence in a life theme. That's a good question.
I think that would mean like, it depends what the number would say on the, like if it said 1E6, like if it was indicating a past life, then perhaps.
Yeah.
But maybe you can message us in an audio on Instagram. We can better answer that question.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Awesome. Well, if anyone has any more questions, reach out to us on Instagram and we will be more than happy to clarify anything. But
All right.
thank you
all so
yeah,
much.
thank you for being here.
We'll talk to you soon.